Let's get this on here.
X-band, K-band.
Don't need that right now. Alright. Like usual, let's tweak the map here. Detect vehicle. Engine found. See, it's the right map. No, it's not the right one. Why is it doing that? Something is going on. July 12th. That's something new. I think it opens, I opened that other map just to look at it and tried to load a different map than I had open. So it must load the last one that you opened, not necessarily the one that's on your screen. There we go. July 12th. Query ECU, blah, blah, blah. Done this 1,000 times. Program ECU. There it goes. Here we go. So yeah, there's been a little lack of videos here, but yeah, car's running good. Just slowly been doing this tuning. I mean, the tune was pretty much there, just doing these little tweaks here and there, getting it, trying to, now that it's hot out, there's enough heat to get traction. So now that it's hooking, then that throws your tune off, because now you can find the problems at low RPM. When it spins, you can't tell if your tune's good at 2,000 RPM or 3,000 because it's spinning the wheels. You can only go to half throttle, so you never know what you really have. Even on the dyno, it's almost impossible to tune at that RPM. So it just takes over time. But now that's warm enough to hook, then I could see, oops, it's dumping a little bit too much fuel off the line. So then I had to back that down. Now I think it's almost perfect. It just, the fuel stays flat from as soon as you launch to shift. And definitely pulled. The shifting is still slow. It's taking about 0.4 of a second, I think, to fully shift and get back on power, going into second. And that's the worst gear. And then I'd say fourth gear is probably the best. Turn ignition off. Wait 1 second. Turn ignition on. So we're finding things out, and we know it has the power, and I haven't been able to make full runs either. I was doing a transmission issue, and that didn't work out. Tried to change the valve body, it didn't work. So then I had to modify what I did have. I upped my pressure, modified some springs, and then just put it back together. It does shift better. It's not great. Third gear is okay. Fourth gear is good. Fourth gear gets a nice quick shift. Third gear is okay. Second gear is a little slow. I don't like it. Probably shift a manual about the same speed, maybe faster. So that's where we're at. I'm putting like one of the final tunes on. We have a drag night coming up. Milwaukee Street Drags is in about a week and 2 days. Next Tuesday. And the car should be good. My last data launch, of course, my camera mount broke. My battery was dead. I wanted to shoot video, but I didn't. But my data log was really good, and what did I run? 0-60 in 4.4 seconds. So that's a record so far. Seems how it takes a half a second just to shift in the second gear. That's pretty good. I was like, if I can get this thing to run mid 4-second 0-60s, that's where it should be. And I short shifted it also. I think I shifted about 73. So then when I hit second gear, you're about 5,000 RPM, which is a little bit low. on an FRS. You want to shift probably closer to 75 to 78 to 8,000. So when you shift, you're at closer to 6,000 RPM. But I fixed with the supercharger, I flattened my curve quite a bit so I can pull from 5,000 on. So I can short shift it. And then with a couple of tweaks to the last map, and then some things that we did, it dropped like over a second off, because I was only running like 5.50 60s, but it would in the 8th mile, it would mile an hour about 91 miles an hour. So it was a mile an hour for mid 12s, but it wouldn't. I couldn't get it to ET. But now, after last night's run, that was very promising. You drop a full second off 0.60 with just some minor tweaks. That's pretty that's pretty amazing. That felt really good. So that might be one of the best 0.60s I've seen on an FRS, and this, especially in an automatic. So I think I finally cracked the code. Our street drags is next week, so honestly, I did not even want to touch the car. I'm just going to take it there, but we picked up that much, like you always want a little bit more. So I'm not touching the engine stuff. I'm doing a little transmission tweak and a little bit of tweak on the mass airflow sensor. Just a couple little things, and then we're going to load a new map in, which I just did, and then we're going to test it again. So it's getting there. If it cools off, and the weather was it was 75 and kind of sticky. The weather was air was okay. So what was my supercharger? Probably about 100 degrees intake temperature. So it wasn't terrible, but it was hot. It wasn't cool, that's for sure. So that's where we're at. Yeah, we're getting it dialed in. That was a clean launch. I did some tweaks, and I'm driving around. Like a part throttle actually didn't feel faster. It felt maybe not as aggressive. But when I go through like the roundabouts, it felt really good. It would really pull off the roundabouts. Man, it feels like it pulls better, but it just feels lazier at part throttle. But at full throttle, it rocked. So that's all that matters, is when you're tuning for the maximum power and then maximum acceleration. It actually is what I'm tuning for. And yeah, so we're getting there. So currently 4.4 0-60 in like 200 feet, which is moving out pretty good. It dropped the 0-60 like 100 feet. So it's getting to 60, 100 feet faster in over a second, and 1.2, 1.3 seconds faster. And I short shifted it, and it wasn't that good of weather, so she's going to be able to do low, even with the slow 1 to 2, even with the transmission. She'll probably do like, I'll probably be able to knock another 2 or 3 tenths off. I'm thinking about 4.2 will probably be what we're talking about for 0-60, which is pretty darn good with this slow shifting transmission. I could get a crisper shift, and we could probably easily knock another tenth off, maybe 2. Then you're talking a 4 flat 0-60, which is, cars. That's pretty good. So automatic Frs Brz, the slowest sports car in America, running low 4 second 0-60s. So we're getting there. All right. So a little update. Yeah, that's where we're at. We're going to do the street drags. Hopefully I win my class. I'm going to do the normal tuner class, and then we'll start with that, and then hopefully I win that class, and then next time we'll go to the higher tuner class, which is like bring whatever you brung. So there'll be like 11-second cars there. So that we'll probably have a little tougher time. But we're going to win that little class first, and then move on to the big class. If they have another street drag, then hopefully we can at least finish towards the top of it. And that's it. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm going to try to get some more stuff coming. It's running good. We have to do another 8th mile run. I want to get an 8-second flat. I'm trying to get an 8-second flat 8th mile. And the way it's pulling now, it might mile an hour about 92 to 95 miles an hour. It pulled a 91 already. And with this last tweak, the way it pulled off the line, because you're going to have so much more momentum, I'm thinking 8th mile, it might be like 95 miles an hour. And that's moving, because it's going to supercharge, so this is going to keep pulling all the way down. So that's going to get us in that low 12 territory, for sure. All right, that's it. Subscribe, like, and share. Thanks. Bye.